Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Yoru on Split. Today is day 22 of playing every agent on every map. Today we have Yoru, probably one of the best duelists in the game, because he has a lot of flashes, a lot of initiation power, and a lot of movement abilities too. Aside from that, Yoru can also be really annoying to fight against if you know how to play Yoru well. Aside from that, Yoru can be a really annoying duelist to play against if you know how to play Yoru really good. Starting off with A side defense. On A you have a couple of options to do with a Yoru. One of them being, you can play close in this corner and have a TP either going backside or towards screens. This corner right here is pretty good to play, especially on a Yoru, because if you have a Yoru, you can play pretty aggressively in this corner, try to even peek out, and then unswing, so you're safe to TP out, because Yoru TP isn't instantly, so it takes a little time to TP out. The same thing also counts for this spot right here behind flowers, or flower pot. You can either send a TP backside or screens again, peek people. You can also do something like this, because it flashes everyone in main. You just gotta be careful and tell your team that you're flashing so you don't flash them. Flash, peek, unswing, and TP back. You just gotta be kind of careful so they're not like close here already. If you TP back in this corner, you can also set a TP before the run starts over here. This is safer TP. And then another thing you can do is a flash like this and peek with the flash to peek out of flowers. What you can also do is, if you have a smoke right here, play over here on this side and hold them. If you have a TP going either back screens, you can even put one up into heaven. You can stay here, get a kill, and then TP out. You should be pretty safe, and you're most of the times just gonna get one or maybe even two kills because it's an unexpected position. By the way, the same thing also counts with this position right here where you stand over here. You have a great off angle and then you can unswing and go back. You can also just send in a TP back. If you are over here, this spot is pretty strong. You can also use a flash from over here. It's a really good pop flash because it pops like over here. I can maybe show that to you. It just comes out for a short amount of time and it's almost undodgeable for the people in main. You can then just TP back and you're safe. Yoru is similar to a chamber or chat where you can play great off angles. The only difference you have with Yoru is that you have more or you need more time to TP, so it helps if you are kind of peeking out of the off angle, because then you can go back and TP out safely. Don't use an off angle like you would use on a chat or a chamber right here, because if you play right here, you can't TP out fast enough, so you might get shot sometimes. So it's always worth using corners where you stand in front of them and hold like an angle like here, and then unswing and TP. Not like on a chat where you hold a really open angle and then dash away. Another thing that is really strong on the Yoru is this option to TP out really fast and insta rotate over to the other side. With a TP like this one, the TP goes all the way towards B, and you can like play A. If you hear your teammate calling from B, yeah, they're rushing B, you can then just TP back, and you're almost on B already. If you play heaven, you can use a TP like this one to go into even deeper in towards B, and insta rotate over. If you don't see anyone here. By the way, another thing you can also use the TP for is for information. So your team says they are on B, but you're not 100% sure if there's a guy on A ramp. You can run up and TP. With a short amount of time that you peek, and if you see somebody in main, for example, you have the information and you're almost impossible to shoot. Another thing you can do in heaven, if you think they are coming up ramp, you can use a flash like this one and then peek them. It's also a pretty good pop flash for anyone being here, and the people are gonna go back. And since you're peeking from this side, you're gonna have a shot on the people going back first, and anyone trying to go to the other side is not gonna be able to trade them out. So it's a pretty good peek. Another thing you can also do is just a flash like this one. This is easier to dodge, and you tend to flash yourself for a short amount too, so it's not that good. Another thing you can do is to place clones in certain spots to make the enemy think you're on a different spot than you are actually at. For example, you place one clone here, and you yourself play on the side, You can also have a TP up there to fake the TP and then clone. For example, like this. If they are coming A and you hear them coming up ramp, you can just fake the TP, fake the clone, so they think, yeah, you're in heaven. And it's a pretty strong play. Most of the times they're not gonna expect you on site then. Another angle you can play very well on the Yoru is the angle back here. If you play any other agent, maybe an Omen works too, or a Chamber if he has a good TP setup, you're not gonna get out. With a Yoru you can get a kill, and then you can just TP back. You're safe. On many other maps you can play a Yoru pretty aggressive on mid. On split that isn't fully the case, but you can still do it sometimes. You can send a TP either back towards spawn from here, or use a TP in vents, and then slowly walk down mid, holding here, going silent down here. The enemies won't be able to hear you, and then clear out the rest of mid. If you get enemies coming out mid, or if you get flashed, you can just TP out and you're safe. Or if you are here and you hear people coming out or running towards mid from here, or either from down here as well, you can use either a flash like this one to flash the people from here, or use a flash like this one to flash the people from here. Another spot you're able to play as a Yoru is close here. This spot right here is a not too good spot, but you can like lightly peek out, maybe get a kill and then TP out. So it is still a playable spot on a Yoru. By the way, a little thing most people don't know is that you can get on top of boxes that are about the same height as you with a Yoru clone and a Yoru TP. You just place a clone in a corner and then you jump up and place the TP. This doesn't work if you don't have the clone. For example, I can show you. If you place it, it's just gonna place here. But if you have a clone in the way, you can use that to place TPs higher up. This is especially good if you want to get into great off angles, or if you are in your ult. You can then place a clone, put it on top, go somewhere else, then you can flash, and you can get on top. This tactic can be used on B as well. If you are on B and you place a clone right here in the beginning of the round and place a TP, and then you slowly go back, they might even try to shoot your clone, but you can then let them come up close, warn your team that you're flashing, and TP on top. The people in main are gonna walk back and most likely are gonna be flashed, and even if not, they're gonna have a hard time trying to kill you. If you get the kills, you can then send out another TP to get back to safety again. Maybe even flash main and TP out. Another thing you can do on B is just to play close here, because it's a really unexpected angle, and with a Yoru TP like this, you have a pretty safe way to get out. You can then even peek into here. You can also try to go close here, but this angle is a really bad angle, so I don't recommend it unless you have like a shorty on an eco round. Or even play up here, because it's mostly not gonna get checked. Or even play the angle right here, try to get a kill, and then TP out. Another good spot on the Yoru is if you send a TP back here, you can play close in this corner, get a kill, maybe even two, or even peek out with a flash like this, kill the people in mid, and then TP back. It's a pretty good play to get some mid control if the enemies keep going mid. Another good spot on the Yoru is if you send your TP back here to play over here. You just need to have somebody to hold main for you. This is a really unexpected off angle, and you can get a lot of kills from that. And as soon as the enemy sees you and knows you're here, you can just fall out down and TP out. Another good spot on the Yoru is back here. You can send out your TP like this, and then either flash out right here, just on the floor. It pops right above you. If you don't look up, you're not gonna get flashed, and you can peek the people in main. Another flash you can use if you aim at the lower part of this rail right here. You can flash the people in main pretty well. It's a good flash, and the people are not gonna be able to dodge it most of the times. And then if they know you are here, you can just TP out and you're safe. If you are retaking, it's always worth sending in your clone first, because they're either gonna shoot it, or if there's like a cipher trip versus any utility that is based off of a trip, like a vice wall or a killjoy alarm bot, they're gonna trigger on your bot, and you have a free time entering after the bot. You can also use the combination of your clone and a TP. Like that, as soon as your TP, as your clone gets shot, you can TP. And you can get a free kill on them because they're either going to be turned away or they're going to be full flashed. By the way, your clone is the longest flash in the game, holding a full 3 seconds. So if somebody gets flashed by your bot, don't just spray at them, take your time. They're going to be flashed for a long time and you can just tap them in the head. A lot of people see a Yoru ult as just a way to get kills with a short or a Bucky. Yoru ult is so much more. Yoru ult is like the best Sova drone there is. You can clear out all of sight, not just if you see one, go out of your ult. Clear out all of sight and search for somebody that is isolated. If they are isolated, you can flash them, go out, kill them, and then TP back. This is really strong, especially if you use some other util as well, like for example a Fade ult. With a Fade ult, they won't be able to hear you. The same thing also counts for an Omen flash, so if you can isolate somebody, your Omen can flash them, and then you can come out of your ult as soon as you flash them. They're not going to be able that you came out, and you're not going to be flashed yourself. Or you can also combine it with a Sova ult. Sova is not that Sova is not played that much on Split, but like on any other map, if you are in a Yoru ult, you can just walk between the enemy and the Sova just has to ult you. You're not going to take any damage, and you get free kills off of that. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is that your ult blocks enemies too. So if you see somebody in this corner, you can just like kind of keep them in the corner while your teammates either shoot them or use util to kill that guy. The same things can also be used on a B retake. You can use your clone and the TP, send in your clone, send in your TP, even flash sometimes, and TP. You can then kill the people backside, kill the people wherever, just always be aware, if you TP somewhere, either use a flash to make them either look away or full flashed, or just minimize the amount of angles you can get peeked from. A good TP, for example, is a TP back here when you flash like this. Because everyone back here is going to be flashed, everyone over here is going to be flashed as well, or either looking away, and you minimize the amount of angles you're open from. Like that, you can just kill the people backside and then focus on the other people. Minimizing the amount of angles you can get peeked from and maximizing the amount of enemies you flash and minimizing the amount of teammates you flash is a great part of Yoru's kit. For example, if you use a TP like this on attack and you flash like this, you basically isolated this angle and the angle back here from anyone else. You are here in the face of the enemies, they're gonna be full flash and you can get a free kill. The other thing is, don't use a TP like for example this one where you just TP all the way in the open. Like this, you're open to this angle right here, you're open to heaven, you're open to back here, you're open to also people behind screens. Even with a flash, this TP is not very good because you can get peeked from like 4 or 5 different angles. Another important thing on the Yoru, especially on attack, is to know where the enemies are at. If you have somebody else taking info, you know there's a guy in heaven, there's a guy in screens, it isn't worth TPing somewhere like here, because yeah, it's really likely that they're just gonna look at you and you're gonna die. It's more worth taking your time, clearing out main, even clearing it out with a flash, clearing out the site right here, clearing out screens, and then you can send a TP towards backside and combine that with a flash like this one, where it always look on the map where your TP is, and combine it with a flash like this one. You flash anyone backside, you flash the people in heaven, and you have a free time taking site. Yoru TPing shouldn't be a gamble. If you TP somewhere, you should know where the enemies are. Don't TP somewhere fully blind. Like, don't TP somewhere without having any information. If you know there's like 3 people on a site, but they're all in tower, you can assume site is free and you can TP site without even using a flash. If there is somebody on site at that time, that's just unlucky, you read the enemies wrong, but most of the times it's the case. Or for example, if you have killed 2 people on A in heaven, you can assume there could be a guy on site. There's most likely nobody gonna be in tower, so you can take the space up here with a Yoru TP as well. Or like even send a TP back here. Yoru is in my opinion one of the highest skill ceiling agents. If you know how to play a Yoru really well, you can dominate any game. Like for example, somebody like Exter, who has right now I think 3 accounts in the top 20 Radiant in NA, knows how to play Yoru because he mostly plays Yoru, and he also knows how to use his util perfectly. It helps him out by just being able to focus on his gameplay and aim, so he can focus more on his aim, less on his util, because he already knows how to use his util perfectly. Let's say you're trying to take mid on attack. Mid, you have 2 different options. You can either use a TP like this one right here, which goes into the cubby right here, and then clear out that cubby with a flash. It is kind of risky if they have somebody playing close here and they see your TP, you're pretty much dead. But if you think, yeah, they're not playing aggressive here, you have a great spot to fight the people in heaven with either a flash like this one, or even a flash like this one, which is a great pop flash for anyone playing close here. And the other one is a great flash for anyone playing further back, like here or even back here. Like that you can clear out heaven in a pretty fast way, and you can help your teammates trying to come B side from main. The other option you have is to send a TP in from here, in towards Vents. Vents is a most likely is somebody playing there. And you can then flash either down here, like this, from behind. Or even when your TP isn't even in Vents itself, you flash anyone in here, even back here, and you have a free time killing them. By the way, this is also isolating an angle. You're isolating either Vents, the people being here, or you're isolating the people in heaven. The people in the heaven are gonna have a harder time being supported by the people mid, because your full team is probably gonna come behind you here, or at least like 1 or 2 people, and they're gonna be isolated. The same way you isolate the people from heaven. That's the way to create space on a Yoru. It's not like a chat dash where you just dash in and then the enemies are gonna look at you or like at your smoke. It's more of like getting into spaces where you don't think an enemy is, but where you know you're in between 2 enemies and can break the line of the enemies and take as much space from them as you can. Switching over towards B. If you're going B and you have the enemies playing really aggressive almost any round, you can use a TP flash like this. You flash anyone in main and you can get a free kill on them. Even if they're running back, you're just gonna kill them. Because you're again isolating an angle. Anyone here is gonna be flashed, anyone close here is gonna be flashed as well. Just tell your teammates that you're flashing main. Another good TP is a TP like this one. You send your TP in and then you flash like this. You flash anyone that is behind of here and you're basically in a pretty good spot to take side for your team. You can then focus the people being close here or the people in heaven. Like that you have a pincer on anyone playing either close here, because they're not gonna see you go back here. And even if they are dying to your teammate up here, you can instantly trade them. You can also then focus the people on backside. By the way, on B is most of the times where the Cypher plays. So it's almost every time worth to throw a decoy like this to get any Cypher trip stuck on him, and you can then just shoot the trips wherever they are and you can get a free sight like this. Another TP you can use if you have a smoke in main from the enemies is a TP like this one. You isolate the backside angle. Anyone here is going to be flashed. You can then focus on the people here too. It's a decent TP, but it is also a kind of risky one, because the people can be in a lot of different places, so it's hard for you to clear out all of them at the same time. This helps if you have a breach stun coming either through here and clearing out under and rafters, or a Omen Flash that does the same thing, because an Omen Flash also deafens the enemy so they won't be able to hear you. If you're deciding to just contact up without a TP, or if you don't have any TPs left, you can use a flash like this one to flash anyone in heaven or close here. They're going to be full flash and you have a free time killing them. Another TP you can use is a one like this one, where you just TP behind pillar. It also helps if you have a stun, or you can even flash backside so the people are not going to peek you. But if you are here, it's pretty hard for the enemies to focus on just main, so they have to like fall back or even fight you. If they want to fight you, you can use a flash like this one, or a flash like this one. If you use that flash, tell your team you're flashing, else you're gonna full flash all of your team. and the enemies playing close here are gonna be flashed, and you have a free time taking the rest of the side. If I had to give Yoru a rating on Split from S to F tier, I'd give him the A tier. He is really good, especially if you know how to play him, but it is really hard to get all out of Yoru if you are just starting up with Yoru. And in general, Yoru is a pretty hard agent to play perfectly, and for that I just give him the A tier. Even though you don't need to play perfectly, just to be good with a Yoru, it helps if you play a lot of Yoru if you decide to play Yoru at all. That would be it from me. If you have any questions or suggestions which agent I should play next, write them down in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps me out a lot and it makes it possible for me to make more videos. Also, don't forget to come say hi to me on Twitch. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and see you guys very soon. Bye!